Hello everyone, this is Davis Gilmer, and today is Christmas Eve, so I want to take a second to talk about the belief in Jesus Christ and the growing trend of mocking Christianity that's going on in the world today. It was brought to my attention the other day a really interesting point, and that's that we all worship something. We're, we're made that way, or it's just the way that logic works out, that worship really is just placing your faith in an idea or a thing that can give you some sort of power or fulfillment. Even the atheist who places his faith or belief in nothing gains power and fulfillment by deriving a morality that says, you can live your life the way you want to and there is no consequences. Moving on from that, though, there's really only three basic beliefs in the world that dictates what's going to happen when you die. Number one would be, I guess, the atheist and the rationalist belief that nothing happens and that all this is really for naught. We're just a candle in the wind, as they say, or Elton John would say. But the vast majority of the world believes that we become some sort of spiritual essence, that our soul leaves our body when we die and we continue to live in some other form. And I want to challenge that because when you look at the observable evidence, it teaches us something. There's a phenomenon that occurs, and you'll learn about it if you've ever taken a psychology class, or if you want to look it up, you can check that out. But there's this man called the Railroad Spike Man, and before this terrible accident, this gentleman was a really nice, positive, fun to be around person who worked hard and had a pretty positive spark for life. One day at work, he worked on a railroad. Terrible accident happened, and he got a railroad spike through his frontal lobe. Ouch. But after that, his personality completely changed. He started being mean to people. He became withdrawn. He didn't want to work anymore. His whole family basically abandoned him because he was just too hard to be around. And that's a pretty scary thing. But moreover, what that really says to me is that our personalities are dependent upon our physiology. Our brain has to be working in good fashion for us to maintain who we even are. So to say that once we die, our soul or whatever it is leaves this body and continues to exist and carries all our personality and our beliefs and our being with it is contradictory to observable evidence. Even the Buddhists who believe that our soul goes to inhabit some other body in the form of reincarnation are making the claim that we're still able to maintain our essence even in a different physiology. So we'll come back as a different person with a different brain, yet still be the same person. And that really just goes against anything that we could ever observe. And the third way, that's to me where the power and the story of Jesus Christ is so compelling, because it's about a man who comes down and conquers death so that he actually rises up in a physical, living, breathing body with physiology the same as before he died, or perhaps enhanced in some way. But this man conquers death and has a living, breathing body that you can touch and feel and hug. Even doubting Thomas himself had to see it and touch it for himself to even believe it. Jesus is the living God. Now, when you think about what we can worship in this world and the choices that we have, you can worship another man, and as we all know, we all die. We're all dying. You can worship another man's idea. That, unfortunately, goes along with the man. You can worship idols, money, power, All this stuff is decaying right along with us. Things rust. Money is really just imaginary anyway. You can even worship the universe, which happens to also be in a state of decay or entropy. Everything's becoming more and more chaotic. You can come up with your own idea of God, and despite the pretension that comes along with that, to believe so arrogantly that we can actually define the same God that gave billions and billions of other people minds and bodies of their own, that we can define that God for those people and ourselves, despite the arrogance in that. What happens if, something heavy falls off a shelf and clocks you over the head and destroys your frontal lobe? You'll be doing well to contemplate macaroni and cheese, much less a powerful, infinite being like God. So basically, anything in this world that we choose to place our faith or worship in is either dying or decaying. We're essentially worshiping death. The power in Jesus comes from the fact that he conquered this. He conquered death. He's the living God. Do you want to worship life or do you want to worship death? So when you think about mocking people who believe and who want to worship this idea of life, this idea that we might actually have a chance to come back as the people that we are now, enhanced in some way, but still, in essence, physiologically, we get our brains back, we get our bodies back. Can you look at your children and tell them you don't even want the hope of seeing them again or the chance? Can you look at your mother or your father or your best friend who are also dying and tell them you care nothing about seeing them again? Just look into someone's eyes, your mother, your father, your grandparents, anybody as we age. You can see as the days go on the tiredness starting to wear us out under our eyes and the crow's feet and everything else that comes along with age. The receding hairlines. You can see all of this stuff. You can see ourselves decaying. Now, do you really want to tell the parents that lost their child to cancer or some horrible accident, or even the little girl or the little boy that lost her mother or father to cancer or some terrible disease or some horrible accident, that there's no chance they'll ever see them again? Do you want to look at your grandmother and say, Grandma, I don't need this idea that there's a chance I could see you again. Once you die, you're gone. Whatever. To me, that's the most selfish thing that we could ever do to somebody. To tell that little girl that, no, there's no chance that you'll ever see your mother or father again. Or to tell your best friend that when they're gone, they're gone. That you don't even want to bother yourself with the hope that there's even a possibility. That's Jesus. Jesus gives us the hope that you can look at your mother or father or anybody and hug them again and hold them. Or your grandparents, or your great-grandparents, or people that you've never even met that made it so you could be here right now, and you never get to meet those people. Can you even just imagine that? Something just feels so wrong about it. Why are we even here? It's not really much of a point. Not without something that lives. Not without life. We don't stand a chance. So you go ahead and you keep worshiping death, because even your idea of nothing is really just death. You can worship life and you can put your faith in Jesus, that you'll see me, you'll see everyone again, because we're all dying. So next time you look at someone you love, look at them like they're dying and go and give them a hug and tell yourself that Is this the last time? If this was the last time I ever saw you again, would I be okay with that? And if you can honestly answer yes, then I don't know, I don't want to know you. So, Merry Christmas. And I hope everyone has the best Christmas ever, because really love and being with your family and being with the people that you care about most is what this is all about. And that's what Jesus did for us. He gave us the hope that there's going to be many, 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 many more. So, take care, everyone. Peace.